I'm Doug Parker, host of Cruise Radio, and today we're going to do a walking tour of Carnival Victory. If you like this video and you want to see more content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Sure would appreciate that. All right, so Carnival Victory, 101,500 gross registered tons. It was launched in the year 2000, 893 feet long, 2,764 guests, and with full guest occupancy, she carries 3,680 guests. So you add a third and fourth person to those bedrooms, and sometimes a fifth. Going to have a lot of people on that ship. In 2020, she's going to undergo this massive $200 million renovation, where she will become Carnival Radiance in April of 2020. Of course, this is just like the Carnival Destiny became Carnival Sunshine, and the Carnival Triumph that became Carnival Sunrise. There's quite a bit of a variety on the stateroom side of Carnival Victory. You have 50 suites, including 2 of those massive captain suites, 488 balcony staterooms, 286 ocean view staterooms, 543 interiors, and 29 of those staterooms are accessible. We're going to start our tour on deck number 3, which is the lobby deck. You're going to enter the ship right here in the main atrium. It's called the Seven Seas Lobby, and there's a Seven Seas Lobby bar right here in the area. So we're going to go walk all the way forward first. That's going to be the Caribbean Main Lounge. That's the show theater on Carnival Victory. That's going to be decks 3, 4, and 5. So it's a multi-deck lounge. As you can see, plenty of space in here. Your typical show theater on a cruise ship. If you want to have good views, of course, get to the front or sit in the upper decks towards the front. Otherwise, you would have a pole in your way or such. No bar in here, but you do have plenty of bar service for the folks who want to grab a drink during a show. You have the bar staff constantly wandering the theater and trying to sell you a drink. So if you don't want to bring a drink in with you, you can get one once you're seated and situated. Walking out of the Caribbean Lounge, you're going to come to a main elevator bank. That's going to have 6 elevators, 3 on each side. Also, those 4 glass elevators that Carnival's famous for. That goes from decks 2 all the way up to deck 11 in the main atrium. And if you like taking pictures of like atrium shots of the ship, a perfect vantage point is riding that elevator from top to bottom because you can get some really cool shots. Continuing our tour as we make our way to the back of deck number 3, to the left-hand side, we're going to have the guest services desk. And then to the right-hand side of the ship, that is going to be the shore excursions desk. And then, of course, the main atrium right here, which is, again, it's called the Seven Seas Atrium. And then we're going to have 2 main dining rooms on this ship. So we're going to have the midship dining room, which is called the Atlantic Dining Room. And then the aft dining room is called the Pacific Dining Room. Both of these dining rooms are 2 stories each. So one of them is used for anytime dining, and one of them is used for set dining. You'll notice a constant theme throughout the dining rooms, and those are mermaids everywhere. Mermaid faces, mermaid statues all over the place, almost to the point of mermaid overload, but they pulled it back just a little bit where it's not in your face, unless you're, you know, walking right up to it, and then it obviously is. And on deck 3, you're going to have that walking restriction, so if you're trying to get from the forward part of deck 3 to the aft part of deck 3, you're going to have to go up to deck number 4 to transit that area, because the galley is between the 2 dining rooms on deck number 3. So you can't get from the mid dining room to the aft dining room on deck 3. You have to go up to deck 4 or down to deck number 2. Here we are in the aft dining room located on deck 3 and deck 4 of Carnival Victory. As you can see, more of a mermaid theme as it transcends from the midship dining room to the aft dining room. A lot of panoramic views here. If you want a good seat at dinner time, I would try to get to that back dining room and request one of these window seats. Also good for sea day brunch or breakfast as well. On sea days, just stunning views back here from this aft dining room. You don't really have the best view if you're dining in the midship dining room because you're looking at decks on both 3 and deck 4. Walking out of the Pacific Dining Room, you're going to make your way to the Ionian Room. That's one of the dance clubs on the ship. A lot of jazz bands and Latin bands playing here throughout the sailing. Walking through this bar, which you'll notice very open and very kind of a place just to kind of kick back and shoot the breeze with people. Walking forward from here, you're going to hit that 4th deck of the Atlantic Dining Room, and then outside of the Atlantic Dining Room, you're going to have the Indian Library and the photo studio, and then the photo shop, and again, 6 elevators there in the very forward part of the ship, and then that's going to be deck 4 of the main show theater, and deck 3, deck 4, and deck 5 are all entrances to the show theater on Carnival Victory. All right, now we're on deck 5 aft. We're going to start back here in the Adriatic Aft Lounge. That's going to be where the Punchliner Comedy Club is. A lot of seats in here. However, as with most of the Carnival ships, the R-rated or adults-only shows for the comedy club do fill up fast, so get in early. I would say maybe 30 minutes early if you want to get a seat, a decent seat, and you don't want to stand. I've never actually seen them shut the door of the comedy club, but I have seen people standing in really weird positions where I know they can't see the stage. They can only hear the stage. So get to that Adriatic After Lounge early if you want a good seat in the comedy club. Outside of the lounge, to the left-hand side, you have the Black and Red Seas Lounge. Mostly karaoke done inside this lounge. Some cool art in the lobby here in the Odyssey Hall. You have 4 elevators. And then you have the Irish Sea Piano Bar. That's going to be on your right-hand side as you're making your way from aft to forward on the ship. Leaving the piano bar and walking forward, you have the Alchemy Bar on your right-hand side. And right across from the Alchemy Bar, you have the Club Arctic Dance Club. That's going to be your late-night disco. They have the ladies' night in there. Throwback to the 80s night sometimes. Find a little of this, a little of that inside of the disco here. Neptune's Way Promenade is how you make your way from the back of the ship to the front of the ship, but not before you pass the Virtual Sea Video Arcade. That's going to be on your left-hand side here. They have that Power Hour happening throughout the cruise as well, where it has 50% off games. So if you want to play the skills machine, or you want to do some skee ball, or play a little bit of Pac-Man, whatever you want to play in there, sometimes it's 50% off. Just look at your fun times, and you'll be able to see when the Power Hour is for the arcade. Coral Sea Cafe, that's the coffee shop on the ship, as well as the Internet Cafe just ahead of that. And then Bonsai Sushi Express. I was surprised when I saw this here because I haven't been on a lot of Carnival ships that have the actual Bonsai Sushi Express set up on the promenade. I always normally see it set up in the Lido deck area, kind of one of those little windows, those service windows, or an actual restaurant like the Dream class ships and the Vista class ships. Inside of the casino here, a nice area, plenty of slot machines and table games and skill machines to take your money and break you. So if you want to do that, jump on into the South China Sea Club Casino. Also, the Trident Bar is located inside the casino as well. A lot of seating here, I noticed, and it gets pretty smoky as well. So if you're kind of sensitive to smoke, I would maybe use the deck above or the deck below to go from forward to aft or vice versa, especially during sea days where the casino really gets cranking in here. Obviously, the casino isn't open when the ship is docked. Just ahead of the casino, you have Cherry on Top, and then you have the Skybox Sports Bar. Now, the Skybox Sports Bar is actually attached to the casino, but one thing, you cannot smoke in the Skybox Sports Bar. So if you want to smoke, you're going to have to go to the actual casino itself. Skybox Sports Bar, of course, having the NFL Network playing those games during football season. Also, the 24-hour sports ticker in here, and just a fun area to hang out in during game day. Outside of the Skybox Sports Club, we're going to have the fun shops both on the left and right-hand side there, port and starboard. That kind of hugs the atrium level, the Seven Seas atrium. Very green in this atrium. And there's 4 elevators right there. Always fun to take them from top to bottom, as we've said before. You're going to find your merchandise here, like your Carnival branded gear, also Pandora charms, expensive watches, stuff like that they try to sell you. Just do your research before you buy any watches or jewelry on a cruise ship. Branded merchandise, yeah, that's fine, but just be careful. Keeping on with the tour, you have the ladies' restroom on the left-hand side and the men's restroom on the right-hand side. And just ahead of that, the cheap seats for the theater. Again, deck 3, 4, and 5, all entrances to the theater. You want to scout this area out if you want to sit on deck number 5 to watch a show. Yeah, it does have easy access to leave because it's not super popular up here during a show, so you won't be causing a scene if you want to, bail out of a show early. But with reason, people don't really sit up here that often because the views aren't the best, but you be the judge of that and check it out once you get on board the ship. Deck 6, 7, and 8 are all staterooms, so you're going to find your balcony cabins here. Also going to find your ocean view and interiors. Deck number 9 is where the fun in the sun is. You're going to find that beach pool right in the middle of the ship here, as well as the dive-in movie screen. We're going to start in the back, though. That's going to be the Lido deck aft. 2 hot tubs back here. You have a pool, as well as the seafood shack and the pizza place, the Pirate Pizza, or Pizza Pirate, I think it's called. Also, you have a bar back here. Plenty of seating, and an enclosed seating as well. You have that solarium back here, so if the weather is inclement, they can actually shut the roof, and you'll be able to enjoy the pool without getting struck by lightning. Mediterranean Lido Deck Restaurant. That's going to be just forward of this area as we make our way towards the front of the ship. Typical Lido area, you have your dessert bar. This is 2 stories. Now, if you've been on other classes of Carnival ships, sometimes there is a barbecue place on the 2nd story of the Lido restaurant. Not on this. All there is seating on deck 10 of Lido. Deck number 9 is where all the food is. You're not going to find any barbecue up there, so don't even try to look. Coming out of the Lido deck, you're going to have the Blue Iguana Cantina. That's the burritos and tacos. Also have a killer breakfast burrito here. Guy's Burger Joint, going to be just opposite of this. Ahead of Guy's Burger Joint is the Red Frog Rum Bar. Opposite of the Red Frog Rum Bar is the Blue Iguana Tequila Bars. And then, of course, the beach pool right here as well. Carnival did a good job designing this ship as far as spreading yourself out around the pool. Not everyone's always cramped on top of each other because there's a level system of chairs where you can go deck 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there's different levels of seating. The only thing really shaking on deck number 10 is the seating area or the laying out areas that are above that beach pool and the aft pool in the back of the ship. Not really much out there on deck 10 aside from some staterooms towards the front of the ship. Deck number 11 aft is where you'll find a jogging track. 7 times around the track is going to be a mile. And then the spa deck 11 forward is where you're going to find a couple of staterooms up here, as well as Camp Ocean for the kids. And then the fitness center and the spa, the ladies and men's dressing room, both have a sauna and a steam room. Fitness center, decent, a lot of equipment up here. You have like mostly the cycles and the treadmills, some free weights and lifting here as well. And so that's pretty much about it for deck number 11. One deck up on deck number 12 and deck 14. That's going to be the forward sun deck, and the forward sky deck is the Serenity area. Also, Club O2 and Circle C up on deck number 12 as well. Serenity, love this Serenity area. They have the day beds up here that are... their bed, it reminds me of Miami Beach, actually, and I guess it kind of makes sense because the ship is home ported in Miami. But you have the big day beds up here. You have a dump bucket. If you get a little too hot, you can fill the dump bucket up and pull the string, and the bucket of water will come down on your head. So that's fun. And a lot of little nooks and crannies up here on Serenity, and I like that it spans 2 decks. So we're talking about deck number 12 and deck number 14, with there being no deck number 13 on Carnival Victory. 2 little, I don't want to call them swimming pools because they're more like rectangle-shaped hot tubs. So not your typical circle hot tub, but 2 rectangular shaped hot tubs. Those are going to be on your starboard side or right side on deck number 12. Also, you'll find that slide entrance for the big water slide they have on the ship here. That's going to be located on deck number 14. And then deck 12, which is the sun deck, deck 12 aft, you're going to find that mini golf course, which is right underneath the smokestack or the funnel on the ship. And that'll about do it for our walkthrough of Carnival Victory. A couple of things in closing here. If you want to check out the spa and sauna, do so because it's free. A lot of people don't realize it's even there. Also a good spot to kind of take a shower if you want a bigger shower and all that. You can go up to the men's locker room in the gym and take your shower there. The dessert menu, the brand new dessert menu, and the cakes are on this ship as well right now. So try the desserts. Guy's Burger, don't be afraid. You're on vacation. Throw back a burger or 15 of them. And finally, I would say try the whiskey class. You can blend your own whiskey there, even take some home with you or drink it on the ship. They don't actually care. It's $29.99 for the class, and you get to sample 9 different types of whiskey, and it seems well worth the money. I haven't taken the class yet, but it looks really cool. And also, no steakhouse on this ship, so you're not going to find that Fahrenheit 555 steakhouse on here, but there's plenty of other good eating at the venues around the ship. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe for more content and give it a like. I sure would appreciate that. My name is Doug Parker. I'm the host of Cruise Radio and the Daily Cruise Radio News Podcast. You can find both of those shows wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just type in Cruise Radio or Cruise Radio News. We'd love to have you there. And what do you think about Carnival Victory? I know she's almost 19 years old at this point. Did you like her? She was kind of late to the game with the whole Fun Ship 2.0 upgrade. She just recently got the Guy's Burger Joint. Of course, she's going to be completely redone next year in 2020, becoming Carnival Radiance. Let me know your thoughts on Carnival Victory below, and thank you for watching.